is Annabelle, and I'm here today to present a great tool for language teachers. What is it? Flipgrid. It's a great way to empower your students with a voice and so build their self-confidence. As language teachers, it's a bit of a contradiction how we want our students to become fluent in whatever language we're teaching. But speaking is perhaps the hardest skill to practice due to the many constraints that we may have. This could be due to the size of the classroom. We often have more than 25 students learning a language in a classroom. It could be due to the time that we have to teach and practice the skill. And we also have to take into consideration that not every student is willing to speak, either because they're shy, they're afraid to make mistakes in front of their peers, or they're just introverted. We also have to consider that speaking is pretty hard to assess objectively. Wouldn't you agree? And so, this is where Flipgrid comes into play. Flipgrid is a free video discussion platform from Microsoft. If you're working online, it works really well with any of the learning management systems that we use, including Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Moodle, or Edmodo. It's also ideal to use when you're teaching face-to-face because you're extending the time your students are working with the language and you're taking learning beyond the four walls of the classroom. You're also building community. So the teacher sets up the account, you create your groups, you set up discussion prompts, and you get your students to respond with a short video. And remember, you can use it with almost any age or level. Okay, so how does it work? Well, the first thing, of course, is that you have to create an account, okay? So you sign up, and you can sign up using a Microsoft account or a Google account. All right, fairly easy. So I'm going to log into my account, and from here, you're taken to the discussion board. And in the discussion board, this is where you find the groups. And from here in the groups, this is where you're going to create your topics. Okay, this is also where you have the button to create a group, and it's very, very easy. So the first thing, of course, is to give your group a name. Then you're going to have to incorporate your students and as far as permission and privacy, you can either incorporate your students with their email address if they happen to have a Google or a Microsoft account. If they don't, you can incorporate your students with usernames, which you create and you assign, and then you send them to your students. If you're using Google Classrooms, you can also incorporate your students through the Google Classroom roster. Now, you can either incorporate your students manually, so one by one, or you can use a CSV file, which Flipgrid actually have an example of, and they explain how to proceed. All right, after that, after you incorporated your students, you have to choose an image for your group. So we have here plenty of images to choose from, and then after it's just basically hitting the create the group, and voila, it's done. Okay, so we've created our groups, and now we actually want to create a topic. To create a topic, we have to go into a specific group, and we can create as many topics as you want. Okay, once you've created several topics, of course, you're going to have a list, and you're going to have all the information about responses and so on. Okay, to create a topic, all you have to do is hit the Create the Topic button. Okay, so I'm going to make a new topic, and I've decided I want my students to talk about a good movie I've seen recently. I'm going to give them more information of what I expect from them. Okay, within my topic, I can add images, I can add a Giphy, I can add emojis. I myself sometimes, depending on the level, like to add a short video of myself explaining what I expect students to do. Okay, then you have to decide if you want topic moderation or not. So if you activate this means that you have to look at all the videos and comments before they actually become public to the rest of the group. So before the rest of the group can see them. Okay, then you have to define if you want students to comment with other videos or with comments. You have to set the time, which can be anywhere from 15 seconds, very short, to all the way to 10 minutes. Then hit the more options, and you can add more resources to help your students. Maybe you have a document, additional information. Okay, you can set a time limit. Okay, and as far as the videos, you can allow students to like other students' videos. You can allow students to download and share their videos, and you can allow students to actually edit their videos, which is a very good option. And you can also allow them to add sticky notes. Then we have the feedback. Feedback can be basic, so you're basically just assessing ideas and performance out of 5, but you can also build your own custom feedback, so you add the criteria that you want. Now, mind you, you can add this at any time later on. Okay, so you hit the Create the Topic button, and here we have it. Our topic is ready, and we have a code. This is the code that we copy and that you send to students. Now, you can send it to students, or you can send it as a QR code. You can incorporate it into the Google Classroom, into the Teams classroom, or you can embed it anywhere with this embedded code. Okay, and we're all set. So our topic is ready. Should you forget, or in the future, if you need that code again, it is under the prompt, okay? And it is with this code that, students have access to their discussions. So it is this code that they put here. Okay, so now all my students have completed their discussion videos, and it's time for me to provide some feedback, to provide some assessment. So I go into the group that I want to assess. I go into the topic, and then I'm going to have the list of my students. I go into each individual student. I click on them, and I'm going to have their videos. Okay, so I listen to their videos, and now I'm ready to provide feedback. So I've got here the feedback section. I can grade Mathilde, okay, on ideas and performance. But let's say that right now I thought of another criteria that I want to assess this group on. All I have to do is hit the edit button here next to the grading criteria, and I can incorporate other criteria. All right, so then I'm going to write some sort of feedback to my student, or I can actually record feedback and send it to my student. I can either copy the feedback link and send it to her, or I can send this feedback through email. Okay, still not convinced? You think that maybe some of your students are too shy to actually record themselves? Well, what's great about Flipgrid is that students have the option to pixelate their face, okay? And they also have the option of adding emojis on top of their face. So there's really no excuse for not recording. And what's great about a video discussion, this video discussion platform, is that students can record and re-record over until they're satisfied with their performance. What does this mean? They're actually practicing. So practice makes perfect, right? Okay, so I've just shown you a few things that you can do with Flipgrid. There's many, many more features that Flipgrid has to offer and that you can explore. And I'm just not going into detail here. So I really, really recommend it, and I do hope that you give it a try.